application of deep reinforcement learning. Nowadays, we are talking about deep learning. We are trying to make the machines which function in a very similar way like the humans we do. So, the practical applications of deep reinforcement learning, first of all, it can be used in the field of manufacturing. Intelligent robots, they are becoming more commonplace in the warehouses to sort out millions of products and to deliver them to the right person. When a robot picks a device to put in a container, deep reinforcement learning, it helps it to gain the knowledge based on whether he has succeeded or he has failed. He uses this knowledge to perform more efficiently in the future. So deep reinforcement learning, it plays a major role in the manufacturing industry. In the manufacturing industry nowadays, for every small thing, like for picking up certain object, whenever we are manufacturing something, we have in the warehouse lot of tasks that are to be performed. Picking up certain things, putting them into container, taking them out, packing them, number of things are there. So we are nowadays not indulging humans into that task. What we are doing, we are making intelligent robots which are being used in those warehouses where the manufacturing is being done. Now, the task of this particular robot is to sort out the millions of products and to deliver them to the right person. For this, a robot has to pick a device. He might have to put it into the container. Now, how does deep reinforcement learning apply here? Deep reinforcement learning helps it to gain the knowledge based on whether he has succeeded in performing his task or he has failed. Next slide, he uses this knowledge. If he has succeeded, he uses this knowledge to perform more efficiently. If he fails, he will not perform this thing again. So in the manufacturing industry, we are nowadays using these intelligent robots who are performing deep reinforcement learning to perform their task efficiently. So this is the first application of deep reinforcement learning, that is into manufacturing. Talking about the second one, that is automotive. The automotive industry today, it is a large data set that will power the deep reinforcement learning. Because we are talking about deep reinforcement learning, so it requires lot of data set, so that he learns new things from the environment. So the automotive industry, there is a large data set that will power the deep reinforcement learning. Already we are using autonomous vehicles. They will help transform the factories, the vehicle maintenance, and the overall automation in the industry. If we are talking about the automotive industry, we are using deep reinforcement learning. We are using deep reinforcement learning for the purpose of autonomous vehicles, for helping to transform the factories, for vehicle maintenance, and for the overall automation in this industry. Because automotive industry, they have a large data set. So the first application that we have talked about in deep reinforcement learning is manufacturing. The second application is automotive industry. We are using this deep reinforcement learning. Talking about the third application, which is in finance. Using the artificial intelligence, which includes the deep reinforcement learning, to be better investment managers than the humans and to evaluate the trading strategies. This is the core objective of the finance companies. Nowadays, we have number of finance companies who are evaluating every day the trading strategies. new and new trading strategies are being built. They are being made for the purpose of making more benefit to the people. So there we are applying our artificial intelligence and deep reinforcement learning within it to become better investment managers and to evaluate all these trading strategies. After evaluating these trading strategy by using the deep reinforcement learning, these finance companies, they will be benefited with more of strategies to make it good, to make it better for the people and for themselves too. So finance companies nowadays, they're using deep reinforcement learning a lot. The fourth one, healthcare industry. From determining the optical treatment plans and diagnosis to the clinical task, the new drug development, automatic treatment. There's a great potential for deep reinforcement learning to improve the healthcare industry. In the healthcare industry, every time nowadays we can see new and new infectious diseases are coming. They're evolving, which we might not have heard of in the previous times. New infections, it might be because of the pollution in the surrounding. It might be because of our eating habits, or it might be because of the adulterated food that we consume. So every day, new and new diseases are evolving in this in our health industry nowadays. So when we want to diagnose such things, when we want to check the symptoms of all these kinds of diseases, and when we want to develop a new medicine or a new drug, we can say, for those diseases, for all these things, we need the help of deep reinforcement learning. We need our intelligent devices. We need the devices which can perform different kinds of computation in these complex environment. They can perform the large calculations, computations which we humans normally cannot do. They can analyze things that a normal person or a normal doctor, he cannot do with his naked eyes. So for all these things, we are using this deep learning, deep reinforcement learning in this healthcare industry. Beginning from the optical treatment plans and diagnosis to the clinical task, talking about the new drug development, or it might be the automatic treatment. So everywhere we are using these or deep reinforcement learning in this healthcare industry. This is the fourth application. Now talking about the next one, fifth application, that is bots. Chatbot. This is what normally nowadays all of us, we are sitting on the internet all the time. We are using internet on our mobile phones, on the laptops, or on our tablets, or anywhere. We are using these internet services. Whenever we open up a particular website, suppose we are learning some tutorial, we are studying something, we are learning from a particular tutorial. So suddenly a pop-up box appears which says, "How can I help you?" That pop-up box, it might answer you with your queries. You might raise certain queries related to the tutorial. It also offers you that we do also have certain courses in this particular subject. So these are the chatbots which are serving us with all our queries. It is not possible for a single human to sit there and answer the queries. Every website, every time so many millions of people, they are using the internet services. So it is not possible that every time for every query, a human has to be placed to answer the queries. So these are the functions nowadays that are being performed by our chatbots, which are already fed up with certain queries which generally people have. And they also learn using the deep reinforcement learning. Might be asked some new questions and they will deliver certain results. So that is deep reinforcement learning. Every person, he might answer the question something new with the chatbot which he is not having the answer of. He will revert with some certain reply. And next time, when the same question will be asked, he might be able to give the correct answer. That is deep reinforcement learning. The bots, they are rapidly learning the nuances and the semantics of the language over many domains for the automated speech and the natural language understanding. This is all because of our deep reinforcement learning, that these chatbots, they've started answering us with these certain queries. So talking about the various applications, we have till now talked about that where all can we use deep reinforcement learning. We can use it in the field of manufacturing, automotive industry, finance, healthcare, and boats. These were the few applications of deep reinforcement learning. So with this we finish with our topic of deep reinforcement learning. Now, coming back to deep learning. What is deep learning? We have been talking about deep learning. This whole subject is about deep learning. Deep learning is what? We make our machines learn. We make our machines learn the way the humans learn. We make our machine perform all the tasks that the humans like us can do. We have in our brain the neurons, which take certain signals, they process it, and they deliver the output. In this very similar way, we are using deep learning for our machines to perform that task. They will receive certain input, they will perform some processing with the help of their hidden layers, and they will deliver us the output. So, deep learning, it is emerged as the artificial intelligence of choice for the forward-looking businesses. Why are we using deep learning? What are the reasons for it? The very first reason for it is a feature generation automation. The deep learning algorithm, they can learn, they can generate new features from among a limited number located in the training set without the human intervention, without some additional human intervention into it. A deep learning algorithm, we have designed it in such a way that they can generate the new features from the limited number which are located in the training data set. Whenever we are training a particular machine, what we are doing? We are providing it with a certain set of training set. Now, our deep learning algorithm, they have the feature, they have the advantage of generating the feature by themselves, by the machine themselves. So the deep learning algorithm, the advantage why this deep learning is becoming the choice of the day. The reason is that the deep learning algorithm, they can generate the new features from a limited number located in the training set without the additional human intervention. This means that the deep learning, they can perform the complex tasks that often require extensive feature engineering. Nowadays, our deep learning, they can perform the complex tasks which we humans do not normally, we are not able to do normally. So this deep learning algorithm, they are performing various difficult tasks for us, which often require extensive feature engineering. So that is the first reason why we are using deep learning nowadays. Second, our deep learning, it works well with the unstructured data. If we have the unstructured data, suppose, let us say we are watching something on Netflix. What is happening? Every time we may start watching a new movie. Next time we may prefer watching a different set of movie. Next time a different set of movie. So all the time this unstructured data will be passed to the machine. When you're watching Netflix, at the back there's a whole processor of Netflix that is working behind it. That is retrieving whatever choices of movies we make. Why is it retrieving that? So that next time when we open up with this set of program, some similar taste of movies will be provided to us. But do we all the time input the structured data? No. We as a human can input any random data. So we can see this is all unstructured data which goes to the machine. So we can say deep learning algorithm, they work well with the unstructured data. The major advantage of deep learning ability is to work with the unstructured data. Training the deep learning network with the unstructured data and appropriate labeling, they can help the business optimize virtually every function. It can be from marketing to sales to finance to healthcare, all sort of industries. It helps. So the major advantage of deep learning is its ability to work with the unstructured data. This training deep learning networks, they work with the unstructured data and appropriate labeling. It helps the business to optimize virtually all the functions that we're generally doing. So the next advantage why this deep learning has become the choice for forward-looking businesses, first is feature generation automation. Automatically new features will be generated. Second, it definitely works well with all kind of unstructured data. So that is why we are using deep learning. Talking about the third advantage of deep learning, better self-learning capabilities. The multiple layers in the deep neural network, it allows models to become more efficient at learning the complex features and performing more intensive computational tasks. They perform the complex operations simultaneously. They execute many complex operations simultaneously. Whenever we are structuring our data, we might be required to perform complex calculation. So in our deep learning, we have such deep learning algorithm which are performing themselves all sort of computations, all sort of calculation. We just have to provide them with the data. They will process the data and will deliver us with the output. So we can say better self-learning capabilities. The various layers that we have in our neural network, they allow our models to become more efficient by learning complex features and performing more intensive computational tasks. That means because we are having various layers in our deep neural network, so they execute many complex tasks simultaneously. Talking about the next advantage while we are using deep learning, it supports parallel and distributed algorithm. The parallel and distributed algorithm, it allows the deep learning models to be trained at scale. Parallel algorithm, they can be distributed across multiple systems to complete the training in less time. A neural network, they support in our deep learning, we are definitely using all sort of neural network. So here, neural network, they support the parallel and the distributed algorithm. Our parallel and distributed algorithm, they allow the deep learning models to be trained at large scale. These parallel algorithms, they can be distributed across various systems and they can perform the task parallelly. They can be distributed at different systems. They will perform the task parallelly and will give us a result in less time. Obviously, if there is a particular task, if it is divided into few small tasks and it is distributed to different units, different units, we say different systems for processing them. So the distribution makes the parallel processing of data fast. That means we can perform the training function, we can perform the computation in less time. So our deep learning, it supports the parallel and the distributed algorithms. Next advantage of using, or next reason for using our deep learning here is cost effectiveness. The deep learning algorithm, they can factor in variation across the learning features to reduce the error margins dramatically across the industries. That means these deep learning algorithms, they are working in a cost-effective manner. Here we are using these learning features. They are reducing the error margins. This is particularly true when we compare the limitations of our classic machine learning model to the deep learning algorithm. If earlier we were having the classic machine learning models, but nowadays we are using deep learning. Deep learning, we have multiple hidden layers who are performing all sort of computation. While doing these computations, the error is very less. So that means they are performing their work in the cost-effective manner. So this is another reason why we are using AI, why we are using deep learning algorithms in the artificial intelligence. The next advantage, advanced analytics. Deep learning, when applied to the data science, it can offer better and more effective processing model. And deep learning, when we apply to the data science, it definitely offers us with a more effective processing model. The ability to learn the unsupervised. It drives continuous improvement in the accuracies and the outcomes. It also offers the data scientists with more reliable and more concise analysis results. That means, in a way, they are providing us with the advanced analytics. Our deep learning here, it is providing us the various algorithm. When we are applying, they offer us better and more effective processing model. They are delivering us with more effective processing model. So what is the main important point here? Their ability to learn. Our deep learning algorithm today, they have the ability to learn the unsupervised, which makes them do the continuous improvement in the accuracies and the results that they generate. So advanced analytics, it offers our data scientists with more reliable and more concise analysis results. So this is another reason why we are using our this deep learning in the fields in the forward-looking businesses nowadays. The next reason comes, that is scalability. Deep learning, it is highly scalable. It can process the massive amount of data and perform a lot of computational tasks in a very time-effective manner. This directly impacts the productivity and portability of the various models. That means they are nowadays the deep learning algorithms that we are designing. Using these deep learning algorithms, the models that we are creating, they are highly scalable. They can perform they can take as an input large amount of data, and they can perform their computation in a very cost effective, in a very time effective manner. So obviously this is, if applied to a particular business, it is definitely going to increase the productivity of that particular business. For example, we can say the Google Cloud AI platform. Nowadays, its prediction, it allows you to run your deep learning neural network at scale on the cloud. It is so much scalable. So this Google Cloud's AI platform, this is an example of the scalability of our deep learning model. The Google Cloud AI platform prediction, it allows you to run your deep learning neural network at a scale on the cloud. If we talk about cloud, cloud is what? Here, if we talk about cloud, it is a particular server on which we can place our data. So that is an example of the scalability of this deep learning model. So we have seen that this deep learning, why it is becoming the need of an hour. Why are we using this deep learning nowadays so much?